Wow, I have not been out here in this garage for a while, have I? Hey guys, welcome back. It's Dawn again, and I'm still working on this Jeep. Although we use the term working lightly here in this particular situation, it's been a long time since I've done a YouTube video on this thing, and I got some explaining to do. So give me 1 second, and I'll get on with that process. Okay, well, here's where we left off. The way last time we had any serious work on this Jeep, I think I was working on the front axle because I forgot some snap rings up there. The time before that, though, I'd had the paint gun out and I was spraying primer on the tub and the dash and all that, the hood and so forth, getting this thing ready for paint. And I was operating on the assumption that this winter was going to be kind of like last winter. Last winter was pretty mild, and I ran through, worked out here in the garage all winter with just a little ceramic heater about that big, and was able to kind of keep it, reasonably warm in here and keep working. This winter has been a different story altogether. I think I shoveled snow like once last year. This year, my snow shovel's up there by the garage door, and that little strip of metal on the bottom of that thing is so sharp I could probably shave with it. We've had a winter. Today, as a matter of fact, I took a little drive and I drove up onto what's called the Energy Loop, which is the mountains down by Fairview, Utah, goes up over the mountaintop and down into Huntington. And driving down the side of the roads there, up on the top, they've snow blown the road open. They keep that road open all winter. And we were talking hood height of the Tacoma on a good portion of that. And then as I was coming back down, there was more snow coming. So we're having a pretty good year this year as far as snow goes. So I don't want to complain, but I haven't gotten a single thing done on this Jeep. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on in my life right now and some big things that I'll be talking about in a couple future episodes, but I got to get off my butt and get back to work on this thing, cold or not, because I'm going to start running up against some deadlines or some time constraints where I really am going to want to have this thing done. So I'm looking around right now, and this garage is just a disaster. I had to take the rooftop tent off of the Tacoma. I have it leaned up against the wheel of the Jeep over here. I took off the rack boxes that I had up on the cab as well. The office building where my business is has a parking structure that's like 2 levels, and I have a spot down on the bottom level, but it's only 6 feet 8 inches tall. So in the summer, when I put the tent on, I can't park under there. In fact, I have to, every time I drive the truck down there, when I first put the tent on, I have to keep reminding myself, don't go in the underground parking, don't go in the covered parking. I'm afraid I'm going to scrape the tent off. But I have that off. It's here. It's kind of in the way. The car's here. Can't really get it out in the snow. But I can do a lot to clean this place up. Here's what I've got to do. I got to get organized again and get this project lit back up. So that's what I'm going to do first. And while I do that, I'll probably be jabbering away, telling you some of the other stuff that's going on. But unfortunately, what has happened a lot of times on this project is you hit this point where it's so messy, you just can't get any work done. So here we go, a little house cleaning, and no worries about the cold. I do have my little ceramic heater. I bought another little heater from Target one day, and between the two of them, I can kind of make a dent on this place and get it reasonably warm out here where I can keep working. And I'm just going to tear into that for a little bit. I probably won't make you watch me, because I know you've watched me clean this garage a dozen times. But when I hit something significant, I'll come back and talk to you about it. And if nothing else, I'll kind of give you a wrap up at the end and start to get working on the stuff I can work on. I'll just tell you right now, I know it's too cold to paint, so I'm not even going to try to paint. But I still have, I don't have any drive shafts in this thing yet. I can get under there and get the drive shafts in. Up in the engine compartment, I've got to get the alternator put on. I got to do something about that power steering pump. I got brake lines to hook up, and I got plenty of work to do. It's just, I kind of have the Jeep all taped off and whatnot, but I think I can get to where I can work on a fair amount of it without undoing all of that. And then once the weather kind of turns and it gets up there to where it's at least like 50 degrees outside, then I think with some heat in here, I think I'll be able to kind of bring the temperature up enough to where I can get back to spraying some color on this thing. So that's the plan. And I do plan on getting the video cycle going again because, well, I've been missing it. I'm honest with you when I tell you that. I like doing these, and you know, I got a fair amount of you kind of tagging along with this project. I appreciate you sticking with me through the no posting zone here, but I'm back and I got work to do, and we're going to get this Jeep on the road one of these days, and this is the summer for it. So, you know, come hell or high water, this thing's going to be driving under its own power this summer. So I'm going to start working on the last, you know, things I need to do to get that major milestone accomplished. But first, the grunt work. I got to clean this garage. So let me get that done, and then I'll check in with you and show you how it looks. I may give you a quick look first at what a disastrous mess this place is right now. All right, well, the first thing I needed to do was get this tent out of the way. So I had this brilliant idea that I could just put the little appliance dollies under it on end with it standing up here and kind of roll it over the side and lean up against the wall. That did not work out at all. It was so top heavy or so unwieldy that I decided, well, I'll just lay it down on the dollies, and that worked out okay. And in fact, as it turns out, when it is laying down on the dollies like this, I didn't show you here, but it will fit right under the Jeep between the two wheels. So now I have a place to store it without it being quite so badly in the way and quite so likely to tip over on me. All right, well, I sometimes think I should be doing it like a public service announcement channel here to talk about all the things you should not be doing. So you saw me back when I got ready to start painting. I needed a little bit more workspace, so I took some of this paper yellow painter's tape from Home Depot And I taped the remnants of my paint booth walls, just that drop cloth plastic, down along with some cardboard. And it's been there for a while now. And the car's driven over it a few times. Don't do that. It's really tough to get that paint or that tape off. I've got that kind of do-it-yourself epoxy coating on the garage floor here, which after this project I'm going to have to redo, obviously, because of painting. But the paint really, or the tape really sticks to that really well, especially when you've been driving your car over it a few times. And then obviously it's winter, so you know, some dripping and so forth has happened, gotten it wet, weakens it up. Some of it's still down in a few places. I'll get it up, but yeah, don't do what I just did. Don't tape stuff to your garage floor with this paper yellow painter's tape. And I'm sure the blue stuff would have been just as bad. It just, you know, it rips as you start to peel it up and makes it kind of a nightmare. So there's a helpful tip for you. Don't do what I did. All right, well, I've been out rummaging around, well, over here, rummaging around in my pile of stuff, and I found my loops for drive shafts. These go on one end, and these guys go on the other end, I believe. I have not enough of these to do all the drive shafts, but we've got the rear here, which has been kind of already reconditioned, new U-joints and so forth. Got the front here, which has not. Over there, or as I was going through everything, I found a bunch of bolts that looked kind of important or like real specialty things. So I pulled those out of my box of random bolts, and I'll set those aside. And here's our alternator. And I don't know, I'm kind of wondering if it might not be a bad idea to get a new alternator. This one sounds a little sketchy when I spin it. Here, let's give it, see if you can hear it. Duk, 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 kind of. So I might just get a new alternator. But anyway, I'm going to throw these in the vise and pop out those old U-joints. I've got some new ones down in the cupboard down there, and we'll get some new U-joints in this thing, get it ready to go back in. All right, well there we've got it. The front drive shaft is now prepped for some paint. So I'll bust out a little primer, give her a shot of that, let it sit for a while. The rear has been painted already. And then I'll put U-joints in after I get it all painted up. So I'll give you a quick look at it. The wire wheel does its magic. I had some of that 320 grit that I was using on the body sanding. I took some of that, scuffed it up with that at first, but I could tell that was not making very good progress. So it's time to bust out the drill and the wire wheel, and here's the results. All right, guys, well, we are waiting for paint to dry down in the garage right now. So I've got the drive shaft for the front drive shaft all cleaned up, U-joints, the old gnarly ones out of it, ready to put new ones in. But like I said, I was gonna paint it first. So right now, we're just waiting for paint to dry. So I'm gonna leave this here for now. And when we visit next time around, I should be underneath the Jeep getting those drive shafts put in. So now the whole drivetrain will be complete. And then I can start on the alternator. Like I said, I probably will go get a new alternator based on the looks of the old one. And we can get started on that power steering pump, figuring out what we're gonna do about that thing. And I still haven't figured out how I'm gonna get my bigger rear brake line hooked into that proportioning valve that has two of the same size holes on it. So I gotta figure that one out. After that, I'm not really sure off the top of my head what I'm going to be able to do to keep this thing moving along. I'm sure there'll be something, but we are really getting to the point where we really need to paint this thing. So Mother Nature, if you're listening, I don't remember what the groundhog did, but we could use some spring, some warmer temperatures so I can get some paint sprayed on that thing. So for now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next go around, and hopefully we'll be hooking up some drive shafts.
Yeah.